There are certain things in life that just don't make sense. Like people who clap when the plane lands, or why printing costs more than a human soul, or how Apple, the company famous for selling wheels for $400 whopping dollars, is suddenly making a $650 MacBook that is not completely trash. No, really, that's not a typo. $650 for a real, actual MacBook with an Apple logo and everything. And get this, it might even have the brand new M5 series chip or the new A18 Pro chip. Now, I don't know what timeline we're living in, but if this is Apple's idea of a budget device, then the world is clearly upside down, because this thing is shaping up to be way better than it should be. So what the hell is exactly in this $650 MacBook? Rumors say it's a new entry-level laptop aimed at students, budget-conscious buyers, and maybe even the Chromebook crowd. That is right. Apple wants to crush Chromebooks now. They've had enough of watching high schoolers carry around plastic lunch tray laptops with potato webcams, and honestly, it makes sense. Education is a massive market, and Apple's been slowly creeping back into that space like a big rat. They tried it with the iPads, they tried it with the M1 MacBook Air, and now they're pulling the trigger on something even cheaper. What's making this more interesting is the chip. Some insiders are saying this $650 MacBook might come with a variant of the A18 chip. Yes, the one designed for iPhones. That's why it could be so cheap. Apple's already mass producing the chips at high scale, so slapping one into a MacBook body and giving it Mac OS Lite or a hybrid operating system could save big bucks. Others think it could feature the M5 series chip, the next evolution of Apple Silicon, which would make it a total beast in disguise. If Apple actually drops the M5 in this thing, we are talking about a budget laptop with better performance than most mid-range Windows machines. Like, you could be editing 4K videos on a $650 laptop, while your friend's $900 Dell is struggling to run Google Chrome. But obviously, let's keep it real. If Apple goes with the A18 Pro instead of the M5, it won't be quite as powerful as an M series chip, but it will still be optimized like crazy. Apple's integration between hardware and software means even a chip designed for a phone can run rings around low-end Intel or AMD machines when paired with Mac OS. Either way, we're looking at a machine that's powerful enough for schoolwork, video calls, streaming, and light creative work, all while staying quiet, efficient, and lasting all day on battery. Speaking of battery, if this machine even comes close to the endurance of the M1 and the M2 MacBooks, we're talking 15 to 20 hours on a single charge. That's like 2 full days of Zoom classes or binge watching your favorite shows. Meanwhile, that peasant budget Windows laptop is begging for an outlet before your lecture even ends. Now let's talk about the display. Will it be mini LED or OLED? Probably not. This is a $650 machine, not a spaceship. But even a basic Retina display would still blow most Windows laptops out of the water. No weird color shifts, no laughably bad viewing angles, just a clean bright screen. That's good enough for everything from essays to Netflix. On the design side, it'll probably have that clean Apple aluminium look, but with some big sacrifices. Maybe it has a slightly thicker chassis. Maybe they go with less premium materials in spots. Maybe they don't give it a backlit keyboard. But even then, it'll likely still feel more solid than whatever budget Acer, Lenovo or HP is slinging. Now, let's put it against the competition. Windows laptops in the $600 to $700 range often come with AMD Ryzen 5 or Intel Core i5 chips. Not bad on paper. But the real story is what's around the chip. Those machines usually come with bloatware, junk drivers, bad thermal management, and battery life that lasts about as long as a Twitter argument. And don't even get me started on the build quality. Hinges that snap, touchpads that click wrong, keyboards that feel like typing on a sponge. Meanwhile, Apple machines, even the budget ones, usually have consistent quality control and design that actually feels intentional. And then there are the Chromebooks. Look, if all you do is browse the web, Google Docs, and watch cat videos, it is fine. Go get a Chromebook. But do not expect to run Photoshop, Final Cut, or even proper file management without wanting to slam your head on the keyboard. Chromebooks are simple because they have to be. A $650 MacBook, even a stripped down one, would wipe the floor with them. Software support is another killer feature. This thing will likely run Mac OS, which means you get the full Apple experience, regular updates for years, access to pro-grade software, compatibility with iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, and AirPods. Stuff like handoff, AirDrop, iMessage, Universal Clipboard is all just there. And don't underestimate how good Apple is at making their devices play nice together. Got an iPhone? This MacBook becomes a second screen. Got AirPods? They auto-connect. Using Safari? Your open tabs sync instantly. That seamless experience is what locks people into the Apple ecosystem. And honestly, once you've had it, it's hard to go back. Now, where might Apple cut the corners? Probably in the storage and RAM. The base model could start with 128GB SSD and 8GB of RAM. Not amazing. But for $650, and for Apple, still pretty solid. Just do not expect to install every app in the universe and keep 75 tabs open while exporting 4K video. You might lose also some of the bells and whistles. No touch bar, thank God. Maybe no touch ID, and probably no MagSafe. But if it has 2 USB-C ports and a headphone jack, most people will be fine. Ports matter though. Apple's been stingy lately. If they give us just 1 USB-C port again, we riot. 2 should be the minimum. And yes, please let us keep the headphone jack. Not everyone wants to use AirPods. Now let's talk pricing again. $650 is a killer deal if the machine actually holds up. And it looks like Apple's aiming to make this a Chromebook killer. Something for schools to buy in bulk. Something for students who need a laptop that actually lasts more than a semester. And here is where it gets real wild. If the rumors are true, and Apple releases this budget MacBook globally, including in emerging markets like India and Southeast Asia, it could be a game changer. Those markets are price sensitive, sure, but they also want quality and long-term support. And nobody does long-term software support better than Apple. Compare that to a $600 Windows laptop that's running Windows 11 Home OS mode with 4GB of RAM and 128GB of eMMC storage. Yes, good luck opening Excel without the thing wheezing like it smoked 2 packs a day. Pros of the budget MacBook? Lightweight, fanless probably, silent, long battery life, great screen, and the Apple experience without the Apple tax. Cons? Limited ports, lower starting specs, probably no serious expandability, but when you weigh it all out, still a killer deal. And another interesting thing, this machine could be the first MacBook with an A-series chip instead of an M-series chip. If Apple does that, they're signaling a whole new class of Mac, one that borrows the iPhone brain but lives in a MacBook body. And that opens the door for even crazier stuff down the line, like hybrid ARM MacBooks that blur the line between iPad and Mac. So who really should buy this MacBook? Anyone who needs a reliable laptop for school, casual work, content consumption, or basic productivity, and doesn't want to spend $1,000 plus. First-time Mac users, people upgrading from 2015 MacBooks, student, budget travelers, even developers who need a secondary machine. This could also be the perfect entry-level Apple device for switchers, people testing Windows or Android and finally giving Mac OS a shot. And let's not forget the resale value. Unlike most budget laptops that depreciate faster than milk in the sun, even low-end MacBooks tend to hold their value. You could buy one, use it for 3 whole years, and still get a decent chunk back when you upgrade. In the end, this $650 MacBook is shaping up to be one of the Apple's smartest and most practical products in years. It's definitely not flashy, it's not a spec monster, but it's priced right, it's well built, and it could do what Chromebooks and budget Windows laptops have been trying to do for over a decade: give people a truly good computing experience for less money. And the best part? It is still a MacBook, which means it's way better than it has any right to be. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go uninstall your antivirus software and treat yourself to a snack. You earned it. See ya.